Recording now. So today, ladies and gentlemen, I'm joined by Bishops Stortford goalkeeper Fred Burbidge, and here is my lockdown interview with him. So Fred, what are your personal thoughts on the season and on the team's performances across the season?
When we obviously pre-season, I was personally, I thought I done well. I think the team are doing well, and I was excited for this season. I thought, do you know what, we've got a good group of lads here. We're ready to kickstart the season on a high. Our first game we beat Bognor. I thought, do you know what, this is going to be a good season. However, things definitely changed very quickly. In terms of the team just wasn't performing. We kept on making the same mistakes, and the mistakes were leading to goals. And I think we never really managed to solve what was wrong in the dressing room, on the pitch. So yeah, this year for me, as a team, I don't think it was great at all. There was spells that were good. There were spells during games where I think we looked very dominant, against the top teams, especially Worthing, Horsham. What's the other one? I can't remember the other one, but there was those games, we were on top for a large period of the game. Yeah. And if you were watching it from a neutral point of view, you would think that Bishops Stortford were the favourites to win that. But yeah, for me, overall, it wasn't good enough from everyone.
Yeah, well, I think the season was quite frustrating at times, especially the formation changes and the players coming in and out. And obviously, Jamie leaving did leave us a bit stranded up top.
100%. And not only was Jamie a unbelievable striker, but he was a role model to us young boys. He was there for, if I ever needed any advice, he was there for me to talk to. And then obviously I still have his phone number and I can call him. But when he's in the dressing room, he's that comfort. Do you know what I mean? When I first walked in, he was the comfort that I had when I walked in. But yeah, obviously losing Jamie was a massive loss.
Yeah, I mean, I think a lot of the fans understood that as well. And then obviously we had Craig Calver come in, and we also had Shamari up top as well, which were doing a good job from the standard where we were in the season, but Jamie was that missing aspect. So what are your personal highlights of the season? So what are your personal highlights of the season?
Personal highlights. I didn't expect to play as well as I think I did. Yeah. So obviously before the season started, sitting and looking at it now, I feel like I did better than what I first thought I was going to before the season. That's I think specific games as highlights. I think Bowers and Pitsy away, although we lost, that save I made, that will save me for a long time. Mersham away, I think it was. I made a couple of saves in the last minutes. And obviously, because where we were in the table, I was used a lot. And I think that was also able to help me progress as much as I have. Yeah. Another highlight was against Wingate away. And in the last minute, I don't know how I saved it. I just natural instinct, and it just didn't go in the goal. So yeah, they're my three real main personal highlights this season.
Yeah, I saw your highlight reel, your video of all the saves you made this season. Some of them were quite world class as well, and it's especially as you're so young as well. So obviously use that, have that experience at your age could help you go a long way.
Yeah, 100%.
Do you have any pre-match routines?
Pre-match routine. I always leave at the same time. I wake up at the same time. I shower at the same time. I eat at the same time. I get dressed at the same time. Everything is at the same time. Um, and yeah, and I always have a banana in the car with me on the way. Literally just a banana, and I'll eat that at the same time. Usually, so with obviously each journey is different. So from my previous clubs, it took a different amount of time. So on the first journey I took on the first match day, whenever I just ate that banana, every time I hit that certain point on my journey, that would be when I ate. That's when I eat my banana before a game. It's a bit strange, but I've done it, and it's just one of my superstitions that I always do now, and that's me.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, I have one. I just listen to the same song before the match kicks off or something like that. Other than that, because my
To be fair,
kickoff times change all the time, so I can't exactly keep to a certain time. I just listen to the same song.
Yeah, fair enough.
So what is your favourite match you've played in, either at Stortford or in your career?
One that I've been in the squad, or one that I've actually played in?
Either, I don't mind.
Playoff final with Boreham Wood, and we was at Wembley. That was a massive, massive day. Not only for the club, but for me individually at the age of 17, sitting on the bench at Wembley in a playoff final, in front of, I think there was around 20,000 fans there that day. Going out to warm up, coming in, being around the dressing room, everyone's getting changed. Then I come in, get changed, I sit on the bench. Then from the bench, I ran out to the side and I do a warm up, and I look to the stand and I could see my family in the crowd. Yeah, that was probably one of the most special moments.
Yeah, I mean, just playing at Wembley must be a special moment, even if you don't come onto the field. Just being
100%, mate.
So, who inspired you to become a footballer, and even more so a goalkeeper?
When I was a kid, I was a bit of a clumsy kid, and I always used to be hurting myself and things like that. And eventually, I think it got to a point where I just didn't get hurt. So at a young age, I used to just go and goal, because whenever the ball got kicked at me, I didn't make a fuss or a big deal out of it. And then obviously you get older and older, and I started to enjoy it. And then obviously my dad sort of said to me, he was like, you look like you got a bit of talent in goal. So I thought, yeah, I'll try a season outfield doing it, outfield, in goal for a season, try it out. So I tried it out for a season, and I really enjoyed it. Because obviously when you're a kid, you do loads of tournaments and there's penalty shootouts all the time. And obviously being a hero is what I thrive off. Saving that last penalty is what I thrive off. Do you know what I mean? Making a worldy save in the last minute to secure your team the win. It's what I thrive off. That's why I play football, because I love that feeling. And yeah, and then I think it was that year that I watched Manuel Neuer like consistently, and I just fell in love with him. And then ever since then, I literally just that's why I'm a goalkeeper today.
That's fair enough. I mean, like I said, some of those saves you made this year, you can see that you've been in goal quite a while. You've got quite a bit of experience behind you.
Yeah. Well, I did take a. There was 2 years where I stopped playing goal and I went outfield. I was at Tottenham as a 7 to 9-year-old, and I got released, and obviously it tore me apart. So I went and played outfield, striker, and then then again the keeper got injured. I had to jump in, and then it just reminded myself that this is my position. This is where I belong, in between the sticks.
So you've mentioned you played for Tottenham and Boreham Wood. What other clubs have you played at?
When I first started playing football, I went to primary school in Cuffley, and I played for Cuffley youth team. I then went to a Greek side called Ammonia, and this was from the age of like 5, maybe even younger. We won everything. I don't think we lost a game in 2 years. We were on flames. Then literally after that second year, every single player on the team went to either Arsenal, Tottenham, Chelsea. We all dispersed into academies. I went to Chelsea. I think I trained at Chelsea for about 1 or 2 years, and then it comes to contract time, and Tottenham had come in and sort of said, we want to sign Fred as well. And I'm a Tottenham fan.
Yeah.
Chelsea's further away, and it was just a no-brainer for me. So I went to Tottenham. And then, at the age of 9 or 10, I was released. I went and played for Benjo Tigers, left there, and then I went to, they were Mark Hall, but funny enough, they had to change their name to Bishops Stortford because they had to have certain facilities to be in the Eastern Junior Alliance. I went there for 2 years, done really well, started proper, like, loving my football again. And then we had a tournament in Panshanger, I believe, and that's when Boreham Wood come. Two guys from Boreham Wood come and said to me they want me to go there for a trial. I went, signed. I was there for 4 years, and I'm now at Bishops Stortford.
So you've been at a fair amount then?
I'd say I've been at a few clubs, and in a way I see that as a good thing because you see how different clubs run. Although I'm only still young and whatever, and I was at academies from young, obviously my dad was there with me. So my dad can relay all the stuff that he found out and what he picked up on whilst I was there and tell me all about it, sort of thing.
Yeah, well, I've only been at one club, and that's Stortford. So, I mean, I had a child at Spurs.
Born and bred Stortford.
Yeah, I had a child at Spurs when I was a keeper, but that didn't go too well.
Yeah.
But apart from that, I've just been at Stortford the whole time.
Fair enough, mate.
So, how have you found lockdown and the lack of live football and playing it?
Obviously, the first week or so, it was nice to have a break, sort of thing. You think, because I used to play football 6 days a week, and sometimes even 7 if we had a 6-a-side game on a Sunday. And not every day was training it as a goalkeeper. It was 6-a-side, having a kick about my mates. Like, I wouldn't always go and go over. And the first week and a half, 2 weeks, it's all right to have 2 weeks off. It's all right. It's fine. You get into 3rd, 4th, and 5 weeks, and you think I didn't feel the same. I was stressing out. I had doubts about myself, about my ability, and what I was going to be like when I was going back. It was mentally tough. I don't struggle so much now because I'm doing a bit now as the rules have been lowered, if you want. So I'm doing a little bit now, and I'm really enjoying myself. I was telling myself I'm going to be so unfit. Like, I'm going to be so unfit that no matter, I'm going to have to work triple as hard as anyone else. And I've come back and I'm still as fit as I was. So now it's just about working and getting fitter and fitter. But yeah, the lack of football, obviously, football is one of the places that sort of relieves stress for me. It takes my mind off of things. I love playing football. It is literally, if I'm not playing football, I'm playing FIFA. If I'm not playing FIFA, I'm at, do you know what I mean? I've always got a ball with me somewhere. I've always got a football with me. I've even got a football with me in the car that doesn't leave the car, even if it's just in the boot. And this lockdown period has made me realise how much I want to play football and have a career. How much I just want football to be my job. I don't want to have to wake up at 5:30, get in my cargo trousers, put my steel toe caps on, and drive hour and a half down the M25 to sort out someone's bathroom or kitchen or whatever. I want to wake up at 7:30, drive to training, train, come home, and know that I've got a match down the weekend. And lockdown has made me realise how much I want that and how passionate I am for football.
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same like me. I've been struggling to keep up fitness levels at the start, and then since then I've been doing a lot more. And yeah, just the thought of football starting to come back now. I mean, like, the Premier League's coming back, and hopefully you'll be back, and non-league will be back fairly soon. and then like we can start training again with players in our team. So it is gradually getting back, but I have to admit I've missed it a lot. And obviously, not watching you or any of the others is quite hard for me as well. So it used to be my distraction to get away from everything, and like
Oh,
just
100%, mate. And even even my mum, who comes to watch me every single game without fail, even if it's Tuesday at Worthing, she travels however long she has to travel to come and watch me, because that her watching me play is her pride and joy. It's what makes her happy. It's what she's not thinking about what's going on at home. She's thinking that when she's watching me, she's focused on me, and it's why the Premier League are so demanding on getting back, because it's a sport that is for everyone.
Yeah.
Not that any sport isn't for anyone, but I think obviously football is the biggest sport, and you can tell by the amount of people that have gone crazy because of lockdown.
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot to a lot of people as well, especially passionate fans, and also non-league's more of a community club as well. That is why
100%.
I love non-league so much, because you get to know the players, and it's a lot. If it does feel like a second family as well.
Yeah, obviously being at Bournemouth and Stortford, which are both non-league clubs, and then having like loan spells at different teams, like Dunstable, I was on loan at. Yeah, you get this bond. Like, obviously, we're not separated. I don't have to walk through a place in the club where I can't come and speak to the fans. I enjoy talking to the fans. It's at the end of the day, they're the ones that paid to come and watch me.
Yeah.
And even at the end of the game, when I'm walking down the tunnel and we've won and I've pulled off a good few saves that game, and I've got like the old guys coming down from their seats saying, "Fred, really well." It's just things like that. It's nice. It's nice to know that I'm putting a smile on his face after he's paid however much to get in. And yeah, it is that togetherness. The fans and the players are all as one. You're not ever separated. And yeah, it is that real like community and that togetherness that really is that nice thing about non-league football.
Yeah. So you mentioned earlier you went to Wembley in the playoff final. Have you won any cups or leagues or playoffs?
Well, when I was at Boreham Wood with the youth team, I won about 15 trophies in 3 seasons, I think it was. We literally won everything there. We were just unstoppable, really. We just had everything in our team. Dominant up top, dominant at the back. And then you had me in goal that just the strikers and the defence. The strikers and the defence got me out the rubbish all the time. No, I'm joking. I won a trophy when I was released from Tottenham. I went to a Div 4 Sunday League team and played up front, and we weren't great at all. I just went there because it was fun. And obviously I trained in that, and the manager said to me at the start of the season, he goes, "If you win me a trophy," he was like, "I'll give you like £300 or something." I remember it was like we got to the final of the cup, and I think we was 2-0 down at one point. And I sort of just thought, like, do you know what? Let's just have it. And I went for it. And I got 2 assists and a goal. And I remember him running up to me at the end, and he was like, "You ain't getting your £300," but he gave me a massive cuddle. And going back to that, it's going back to the whole of how's lockdown made, like the lack of football. That there's just things like that, moments that you have, like, and I'm only 20, and it's like moments like that that still put goosebumps on me today. The trophy meant nothing. I was 8 years old, 9 years old. The trophy meant nothing. It is worth nothing. But what it makes you feel and how it makes people feel, you can't take that away from anyone. But yeah, I have won. Going back to the question, I have won quite a few trophies at youth level. I've not won anything. Say first team level. I won the Heart Senior Cup.
Yeah.
I took part in that. I didn't play in the final, but I took part in that, and I played a part. So yeah, Hart Senior Cup's the only real first team trophy I've won.
Well, hopefully you'll win a few more next year. Get the league going.
Hopefully, mate. Hopefully, mate. The aim is to play football to win trophies.
Yeah, I mean, like 2 years ago to this day, I won a Buntingford tournament, and so I still got the memories of that. And obviously, this day every year, like since then, it's always been a special day for me.
100%, it always is.
Still relive all the memories, and still speak to a lot of people who are in the team as well. So
that's brilliant.
It's just a nice feeling to have. So, where do you see yourself in 5 years' time?
5 years' time, where do I see myself? I don't want to sound too up my own backside here. To be honest with you, I'd like to think I'd be somewhere in the league, the professional. I'd like to think that. I don't know where, because in football, at the end of the day, football is a matter of opinion. And I don't know where I see myself in 5 years, but I see myself, I'd like to think as a professional footballer. And yeah, that's where I'd like to think I'd see myself in 5 years. Whether I will be, I don't know. But yeah, that's what I think. Like, that's where I see myself in 5 years, somewhere in a professional environment.
Well, like you say, you're young, so you've still got quite a bit of a career ahead. So,
well, yeah, and obviously being a keeper, keepers die at a later age than an outfield player because obviously we stand still.
Yeah. You do see keepers playing till they're 40 or however old.
Oh yeah, exactly.
Unless you're Jamie Curtin, you play till you're 43.
Yeah, but he's not normal.
No, he's Jamie. Fine. So, what is the favourite stadium you've played at?
Favourite stadium? Favourite stadium would have to be Wembley.
Yeah.
Because I'm a Tottenham fan. I played at Stamford Bridge and Emirates. So, it's got to be Wembley for me.
Fine, you'll play at White Hart Lane soon. I believe in you.
Hopefully, mate. That is the dream.
Well, I haven't been to the new stadium yet. I went to the old stadium quite a bit. I just haven't been to the new one yet.
Get yourself down there, mate. It's unreal.
Oh, I'll be down there to watch you.
Hopefully, mate.
So, after a bad game, or like when your team's going through bad form, how do you deal with that, and how do you turn it around within the team in the changing room?
There and then on the pitch, it's about getting around each other and saying, "Oi, come on, don't worry, forget that, it's done." And you then focus on whatever left of the game. That's what you focus on. And it's the same with me. I used to be bad. When I used to make a mistake, that would be me done. The moment I made a mistake, that was the end of my game. If it was at the 10th minute, at the 90th minute, that was me. And then obviously growing up and playing with some keepers that are very good, and getting the advice from them, and even getting advice from like Jamie, it's the first bit of advice they always give me is forget whatever mistake you make. It's football. Not every striker scores every single one of their shots. And because obviously as a goalkeeper or a centre back, your mistake 7 times out of 10 leads to a goal because you're the back line of defence. You're the last line of defence before it goes in the net. And if a striker doesn't score, we keep a clean sheet, we still walk away with a point. Whereas, so it's all about, for me, it's always all about forgetting what has happened right there and then in the game, and getting yourself back on it for the rest of the game. And then at the end of the game, after the game's finished, I would then reevaluate my mistake and say to my goalkeeper coach, look, I want to work on shots coming from an angle with bodies in the way because I find myself out of position or whatever. And yeah, that's how I go about it. And I can only speak for myself. Obviously, being a goalkeeper, I don't train with the team. I don't train with the team as much as the train team together. So, but yeah, I obviously when I make a mistake in a game, it's forget that, get on with it. It's done. I'm going to make mistakes. I'm going to make more than just a few mistakes. And then obviously once the game's done, if the game's been recorded, I'll sit down with my goalkeeper coach and we'll evaluate it and we'll say, right then, this is what we got to work on. We can see why you made this mistake or whatever. And then, yeah, we go from there. So.
Well, that's fair enough. I mean, when I was keeper, I used to do the same thing. Apart from my games wasn't recorded by like a team whatever. My dad used to just get videos of it. And then I was doing keeper training as well. So I was then asked to work on this or that as well. But who's the funniest player you've ever played with, like in the dressing room?
The funniest player I've ever played with? Cool. I played with a few funny people. Anyone. Jesus. I'd have to say Tom Champion at Boreham Wood. Anything he says, you just laugh at.
That's fair enough.
Anything.
Yeah, I mean, in my team, there's a couple of funny people, and also we sort of joke about and everything. Like we take the football seriously, and then like we just joke about as well.
Oh, of course, mate. Of course, you've got to take the football seriously, but football's all about banter. And
it's just about
that's what brings having. If you don't have banter, your team's not as close as what a team does if they have banter in the dressing room.
Yeah.
The moment you cross that white line onto the pitch, then there's no banter. You're on your job or you're on your game. But yeah, you have to have banter in the dressing room, 100%.
So have you got any advice or words or like on how to improve for young players?
I'd just say work harder than anyone you know. Don't listen to what other kids have to say to you. Focus on yourself. And if it doesn't work out at one club, don't just stop. Keep going around. Don't just stop when someone says to you, we don't want you. Because there'll be someone else out there that does want you and need you. And if you're playing for someone that doesn't want you, but you sort of have to be there, you won't improve as much as if you're at a club that want you and need you. Even if that club is at a lower level than the club you're at, you'll still improve more because you're enjoying it. You want to go to football. The manager wants to work with you. And yeah, just never ever think that it's up. Because even at my age, like in 3 years, 4 years time, even if I'm still not pro, or 5 years time, say your question, say I'm still not pro, I'm not going to stop playing football. I enjoy playing football. I love playing football. What I want to do, whether I have to work alongside it, that's what I have to do. But yeah, any advice I'd give is work hard, never ever give up. Don't listen to what other kids have to say to you. And that's it, really.
That's fair enough. Well, thank you for your time today, Fred. And
no worries, mate. Anytime.
Yeah, enjoy the rest of your day.
I will do, and you, mate.
All right, cheers, mate.
Thank you. See you later.
Bye.